Today on Dice to Pixels, we're going to be talking about some Kickstarter stuff and some FTC garbage. Stick with us.
The FTC.
Oh, I loved that. That was one of the best Family Guy musical numbers ever.
It really nailed a bunch of truths, too.
It so did.
Yeah. We got a little visitor down here right now. Freya's decided to join us.
The tiniest of the cats is here.
Yes.
She will not come on camera, by the way. But
she's just swimming around her. Hello, baby.
Yeah, just visiting each of us in turn.
Yeah.
But well, let's start with the FTC because it should be pretty quick. So you were just describing it. Basically, the FTC is angry about Microsoft changing Game Pass.
Yeah, so Microsoft came out and said, hey, we're increasing Game Pass subs prices. Okay?
Well, so specifically, it sounded like they're axing the console version.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the console price. They're introducing a Game Pass Standard, Game Pass Ultimate, and Game Pass Core. Game Pass Ultimate is going to be unchanged. It's still the same shit. It's going up by $3.
Yeah, up a few bucks. Yeah.
Standard, to me, standard is basically what the console's going to be.
Except for PC and console.
Yeah, except standards, you're not getting day one releases. You're not getting EA Play or PC Game Pass or cloud gaming.
Yeah.
Core is just the online stuff and a smaller library, and then PC Game Pass is going up by a couple bucks.
Yeah.
The FTC, I guess, didn't like that. And they are firmly against the discontinuation of the Game Pass for console, saying that users must pay a substantial price increase of, quote, 81%, unquote, to switch to Game Pass Ultimate. And those unwilling must settle for the standard price, which doesn't include all of the bells and whistles that the Ultimate does.
Yeah, which I call bullshit on that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it again. The current Game Pass, the previous Game Pass, didn't include the day one releases either. I mean, like, insofar as the new releases that they're adding to Game Pass were never a part of the original Game Pass. They would occasionally release stuff, but you never got Call of Duty day one. Like, that just wasn't a thing. So when they're saying, like, oh, it doesn't include the day one releases, like, well, neither did the old one.
Yeah.
It's not really a degradation of service. It's really just, hey, this really cool new benefit that we said we'd add, you're going to have to pay extra for it. Which, hey, shitty way to frame it from Microsoft's point of view. Just don't do that. That's bad marketing. But also, like,
I think it's almost, maybe it's not quite the same, but it's kind of comparable to the different subscription tiers that Netflix has.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you get like the super, super cheap version that I have, and you get commercials in your thing.
Right.
Well, it's not a big deal to me.
Right.
I don't care. I can handle 30 seconds out of every episode.
You want a bigger penis?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Like, what Microsoft should have done in reality is said, like, we're not discontinuing the existing Game Pass, but if you want access to the day one releases, you have to pay us an extra $5 a month.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done in terms of what the FTC is saying.
Mm-hmm.
In reality, this isn't really any different. But people are losing the option to not pay for that.
Yeah.
In fairness.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Activision Blizzard merger and all of the future COD games coming day one to Game Pass probably had nothing to do with it. I'm talking out my ass. It totally did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's absolutely what it is, right? They're like, we're going to take a big hit to our Call of Duty sales and Blizzard sales and whatever else by releasing them on Game Pass day one. We need to make that up elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're an Ultimate subscriber, you're already basically paying for that. We're going to bump it up a few bucks.
Mm-hmm.
If you were paying the bottom tier, that's not enough. So I think what the FTC is really saying is they would like to see it. You can keep your current thing without a price change or with a modest price change, or you can add the day one releases for a much larger price change. I think their argument really boils down to nobody has the choice to stick with their current plan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're trying to get at, but it's weird because they kind of do, because there is the standard that doesn't come with the day one. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't really get their argument other than it's more expensive. And it's like, well, everything's fucking more expensive.
And also PS Plus did their weird tiered system last
Yeah,
year too.
similar
Like,
stuff. Yeah.
I don't know what is involved in each tier though. Is it comparable? Do you know,
Well,
Chad? Offhand for PS Plus compared to what the Game Pass
There's
is gonna
additional
be?
games that you get.
Okay.
So,
But they're not like exclusively day one releases.
Okay.
No.
So-
PS Plus, like at its core, like just the normal PS Plus gets you online stuff and like their monthly games. Like,
Yeah.
So it's their PS Plus monthly games that you can get. Their extra gives you access to basically a Game Pass library of games, and they could be day one releases. Like, you know,
They can be.
They can be. And the premium gives you access to like their classics catalog, which is like PS1, PS2.
And I think there's an extra game that they release every month for the
I think-
highest standards
Yeah, I
as
think so,
well.
yeah.
But like I think the only distinction here is that Microsoft is specifically saying we treat top tier first day one releases as a different item. And I think that's what the FTC is bitching about. And I don't get that because it's like,
It was before though too.
yeah,
Like-
before you just had to pay full price.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I mean, keep in mind we're filming this right now a week ago, so I might be a fucking idiot by now. But this doesn't seem like a legitimate complaint. This sounds
No.
like they're mostly just saying we're angry that they're increasing the price.
It's just
And to be fair, it sounds like a significant price increase.
again, like Game Pass Ultimate. I mean, I think we all have Game Pass Ultimate.
We do. Yeah.
So $3,
Oh, for us, it's fine. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like for the amount that you get with Game Pass Ultimate, okay, sure.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean, I'm sure there will always be people that complain
Yeah.
about price increases, but like that's fine. I think FTC is saying like from the bottom, like from the console exclusive Game Pass now,
Mhm.
going to an equivalent product with the changes is almost double the price.
Basically, what Xbox Live was minus the free games.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when Xbox Live initially took off, and you had to pay a it was like near the end of the Xbox, the original Xbox,
It's like
and the
$100
start of the
a year or
360.
something, yeah.
I can't remember what it was. It wasn't,
It wasn't horrible, but it
No,
wasn't cheap.
but it was literally just online stuff.
yeah, it's all you got. Yeah.
right. To me, that's all this new standard, or that's all it is to me.
Yeah, I don't really see the complaint. I don't really know what the price is. I know what the ultimate costs. Because if it's going from like $6 to $10, then it's like, well, that's a $4 increase versus a $3 increase from ultimate. I don't really
Yeah.
see that big of a complaint there. If it's like 7 to 15 or something, I maybe see the issue. I don't know. It seems weird. I doubt it will go anywhere. I think FTC is just being silly here.
Yeah.
Um,
I think from a consumer point of view too, it'd be like if I'm at the lowest, just doing the lowest, most basic tier, I'm just doing it to get the easy free games that I like. If I wanted the day one stuff, I'm probably already paying the higher amount for that, or just buying it straight up. So it wouldn't. I
Yeah.
think it's not really going to affect people the way that the FTC is framing things.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know the demographics, and I don't know how many people care about the free games every month and everything else. I'd have to think about it. Probably in a couple of weeks, we'll probably be talking about it again, because by then we'll have had some time to digest. But I understand why people would be pissed about the increase. I don't really understand why the FTC thinks they have standing to complain about it. That seems odd to me.
Yeah,
Well,
unless they
they-
just received a lot of complaints. From
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but they also bitched about the Activision Blizzard merger as well.
Yeah, well, so that they were talking about like antitrust. Look, if they don't bitch about Rogers increasing my fucking bill all the time, they don't get to complain about Microsoft.
Yeah.
I mean, FTC would not complain about Rogers, but Comcast for those in the US.
Yeah.
Same fucking
I was
difference.
gonna say I don't think they can. to
Hey
begin with.
man, everybody should complain about Rogers,
Oh,
whether they're in this
God.
country or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird that they're complaining about this specific price increase.
Yeah.
It seems odd to me. Like I said, by the time you're watching this, I might look like a fucking idiot because we're filming this right after the information came out. So
Yeah, because we're going away.
Yeah, we're
not home
We
this
are
weekend.
away.
We're,
You
yeah,
two
we
are
are
away.
away. We're gone right now.
I'm here though, just lonely.
Aww.
We're holograms.
I'm hopefully out in the shop working on stuff right now as you're watching this.
You better be.
I really need to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. Yeah. Put in the comments. Just leave in the comments down there is Adrian back to work.
Yeah. Say in a way that won't get you flagged on YouTube. Say get your lazy ass to work. Don't use those words because YouTube will complain. But
Yeah.
Listen here,
whippersnapper.
bracket something.
Yeah, so that's the FTC stuff, and then we were going to talk a little bit about Kickstarter.
Yeah. God, was it last year?
Oh, it's a while back.
It's
I
been
feel
a
like
while,
I feel like it's almost,
I remember I wasn't here.
Yeah,
no,
you were
it's
sick.
it's coming up
sick, yeah.
on since we did the interview with them. It's coming up on a year.
Yeah, our friends at Odyssey Dice, we had on the show talking about their dice Kickstarter. It had to have been a year ago.
Got to be close.
They are pretty close to fulfilling that one, and they had started a partnership with Mithril Armory for another dice Kickstarter, the Olympus Dice,
Which we also all backed.
we backed them too as well. They've come out and said that both are declaring bankruptcy.
Mithril and Odyssey.
And
Yeah.
Odyssey, yeah. And that sucks. But Odyssey has come out and said that they are going to fulfill their first Kickstarter that they started, and refunds are being issued for the people that supported the Olympus one with Mithril and
Yeah, they're gonna
Odyssey,
try
yeah.
and refund people who were backing multiple projects
Mhm.
preferentially, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they are unfortunately declaring bankruptcy, which is sad. Like, don't get me wrong, I was excited to get the dice, and hopefully we'll still get our initial
Mhm.
Odyssey dice.
Yep.
Only because we've seen them; they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, in the grand scheme, I could care less about, or I couldn't care less about getting the dice compared to what was going to be a new local manufacturer of dice
Mm-hmm.
doing really awesome stuff.
Mhm.
Now being out of business in large part because of inflation.
Yeah.
And it's sad because like we were talking about it just a little bit before we started recording. Basically, they got bit because they were delayed. And so every time they have to buy new stuff, it costs twice as much as it should have, which means their margins just completely went away.
Mhm.
And that brings me to like my go-to rant about Kickstarter, which is all these people that treat it as a pre-order system. I fucking hate that. Wormwood, worst offenders.
Yes.
Fuck that nonsense. This was a new manufacturer. Everybody should have gone into that Kickstarter, especially the first one. The second one maybe a little less so, but the first one, everybody should have gone into that Kickstarter being like, we are supporting the idea of a new dice manufacturer in Canada, in Ontario. In my case, it's like they were like really close. I mean, they were close enough that they came on the channel.
They're like an hour away.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
close. I was thrilled. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm very sad that they're not going to make it. I don't care about the dice. I do. I want them because they're beautiful. I want them. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't give a shit. I'm sad that we're losing a manufacturer that could have been here.
Yep.
And it really upsets me, some of the comments that I was seeing on the Kickstarter where people are like, they feel robbed or something. And it's like, this isn't somebody that was reselling somebody else's dice.
They were,
Yeah.
They were starting a manufacturing process. I have a little bit of experience with a Kickstarter that failed because of dice. And that pisses me off because there was no reason for that to not ship. I mean, in theory, it's shipped now, but I don't fucking believe it. They were setting up a manufacturing system.
Mm-hmm.
There was a high probability that they could fail. I'm gutted that they did because they're great guys and the manufacturer, they were doing a great job.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off that people treat Kickstarter as a pre-order because that's not what it was ever meant for.
No.
And the fellas at Odyssey, they ran into a ton of like issues, and it wasn't just like production, but like I know there was a few instances where they had issues with their facilities.
Yeah, well, they had flooding
in their facilities and stuff. You can't control that. That's out of your control,
Yeah.
right? But Things like that. We know that we've seen quite a few updates where that kind of hampered their production efforts and
Yep.
like losing personnel, getting new personnel and whatnot. But yeah, like, I mean, you guys held the dice in your hands, so I mean, you both know like the quality was there.
They were
the-
pretty.
Just
They were great,
gorgeous,
yeah.
product that they have, and I'm hopeful. Like I'm looking forward, and I really, really, really do hope, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that we do get the sets from Odyssey before everything's kind of closed up.
Yeah.
The Mithril, I do think that they kind of jumped onto the Mithril partnership really kind of too soon.
Yeah, so look, the people who are upset in the second Kickstarter, I'm
Yeah.
like, you have more of a leg to stand on here,
Mhm.
because in theory, this was a manufacturer that was already sort of bootstrapped. They weren't really, and I think they were fairly honest about that. Like I read through the Kickstarter, and I think they were honest about it, but I can get it a little bit for the second Kickstarter. But the first one, I read some comments that I was like, you people are assholes.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
And
But-
again, not being like, well, I mean, we're not being dicks. Like I said, like yourself and Sarah seen their product, firsthand.
yeah, they were great.
So
And they're nice guys.
Yeah,
And,
they
and
are
they did
great
all the
guys.
right things. They
Mhm.
tried really, really hard.
Yep.
To the point where they basically are getting the first one across the line very, very late at this point. But they're basically there.
Mhm.
It's just that, they took money, 18 months ago. The dollars decreased in value by
Yeah.
God knows how much. And that's just within the country. When you talk about imports from other countries, it's even
Mhm.
worse. So
Yeah.
yeah, no fault to them from me at least. I don't fault them at all. I'm just
No.
gutted that they didn't make it.
Mhm.
In due time, maybe if one of the guys wants to come back and chat about how things went, but we're not gonna. I'll shoot him a text after a while.
yeah.
I don't want to.
It's a very
Bother them
open,
right
wo-
now.
yeah, open wound right
Yeah.
now. So
But in due course, maybe we'll invite them back. Well, we will invite them back. Maybe they will come back and talk a little bit more about how things went.
And maybe I'll be here this time.
Maybe he'll be here this time. But yeah, super gutted. Like I said, for me, it was just how awesome would it be to have a dice
Yeah.
manufacturer, actual manufacturer, not just reseller, local. That would be so cool.
Yeah. This one really, I feel the same. Like it guts me for pretty much the same reasons. There's a couple other Kickstarters that I backed, that I'll reference the Red Opera Terra deck.
Yeah, that was a shit show.
Mm.
That's from 21 in a previous life. You two both had seen
Yeah.
the Terra deck that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And me watching from, because you were both in Wisconsin at the time.
Yeah.
And I was here and I seen it and I backed it,
Yeah.
and it's still not fulfilled.
And that was a one where they didn't try hard. That
No.
was
No,
mismanaged
no,
from
no,
day
no.
one.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
mismanagement
yeah.
one.
And even now, like it's still like, okay, sure, all right.
It's nonsense.
You're getting shit. The guy who's
Yeah.
taking over is getting shit delivered to his garage. Sketch.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I think the only one right now, because I think every Kickstarter I've backed, the only one that I have had completely 100% fulfilled is the Space Delirium dice, the glow in the dark dice
Oh, yeah.
that we both got.
Yeah.
That's the only one, and that's from France.
Yeah.
That was from France.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only one that I've gotten 100% fulfilled.
And they weren't super delayed too.
No.
Everything they lined up pretty well. Like I think they were maybe 3 months at the most
Yep.
Yeah.
delayed. So
Yep.
it was pretty good.
My hit rate with Kickstarter has been pretty high. Mind you, I haven't backed that much in the gaming sphere.
Hmm.
But I've been surprised that I got a couple things. Like there was an FPGA board that I backed. You don't need to care what it is, but it's a little circuit board.
Okay.
And I was sure they were going to fail because I'm like, that's a fairly hard thing to actually build. And you're like trying to bootstrap, you're going to fail. But I'm like,
Mhm.
screw it. I'll throw in $50 to get one. Probably worth about 25, which they did it right. They made huge margins so that they could get the manufacturing up and running. I was shocked when I got it like 13 months later. I was like, wow, you didn't go bankrupt? Holy shit. The rest of them, a lot of them were like things like the Peter McKinnon backpack. It's like, well,
Yeah.
Pete's got millions and millions of dollars. He fucking better fulfill it.
Yeah.
And it was in partnership with Nomad, who's an established company. So stuff like that, it's like, okay, well, of course you're going to get that.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell immediately whether or not something is going to, or whether even if it's a small project and they have a small budget, like those ones too, though there's a good likelihood, even if it doesn't get fully backed, at some point you're going to see something from them.
Yeah, you can often tell just by whether they seem to be over-promising.
Yeah.
If it's an established product that they're just taking a margin on, it's like, okay, that's probably going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a new product and their margin isn't that big, and I think honestly this is probably where Odyssey lowballed it. I think if they had delivered on time,
Yeah.
they would have been fine.
Yeah.
Or if inflation hadn't been like 30% for 3 years. But I think that's where it went wrong, is just sort of like their margins weren't big enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out Welcome to the Machine 5e though. You remember way back, there was a guy working on like a little module, and it was like $1 or something, or $2 to pledge. And I mentioned it, and I think we actually, as Dice of Pixels, pushed them across the line. I have seen no updates on that in like a year. I was gonna ping them, but at the same time, I'm like, it was $2. I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ping them at some point and just be like, you should just release what you've got. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Even if
Nobody
it's incomplete,
cares.
yeah.
It was like a $400 Kickstarter. It's like nobody's gonna be that upset about this. But I'm like, did you ever do it? Is it done? Send out, if you've got a chapter, send it out. I'll give it a look. But that's the only one other than the Odyssey in recent times that I've missed on. But again, like for me, I was backing the idea of a manufacturer, not the dice.
Yeah,
the dice are beautiful. I'd love to have them, but I was backing the idea of a manufacturer.
I think a lot of people, myself included, have lost sight of that aspect of it. It's because I think it's the way it's presented. It's look at this pretty thing that you can get. It's not this is the idea that we have, these are the steps that we're going to take. It's those things, elements and ideas, I think, are in their blurbs, but they're diminished by the products themselves, I think, in a lot of ways. And also the early bird backer things, I feel like that kind of
that's
hurts.
dumb. People play games on Kickstarter that I don't like, and too many established companies use it as their go-to pre-order site.
Yeah, they do, especially when you do early bird back and you don't get your fucking
right,
because that's happened to me.
Yeah. And a lot of them that miss are just they're just incompetent. Like, it's just they don't ship product. It's not that they didn't make it, they just don't ship it properly. Cough. But still very salty about that because my name was on that. But so anyways, like, if people just went back to what Kickstarter was supposed to be, and in fairness, Kickstarter has, I mean, we all know that Kickstarter like went and talked to Wormwood and was like, you should keep using Kickstarter. So it's their fault too. But it's like, Kickstarter was meant to be, I have a dream. I want to bring it to life. It might fail. That's what Kickstarter was meant for. Not, hey, I've got a fully fledged product that I'm ready to do. Come and buy it. It's like, no, fuck off. That's what stores are for.
These fucking companies that like, hey, I've done like 7 or 8 Kickstarters before, I'm gonna keep doing Kickstarters.
Yeah, it's like, just like, come on, that's not what it's for, man. But anyways, scumbags. So Odyssey, on the off chance that you guys watch, we're so sorry you guys didn't make it. I would offer assistance, but there is literally nothing we could do to help a dice manufacturer. If we were much bigger, maybe we could come to the rescue. But I'm gutted that they're not going to make it because I was so excited. So, but maybe in a few months we'll have one of the guys back on and get the full story.
I mean, and there's no reason why they have all of the tools to continue with dice. There's no reason why they can't just open a little tiny online shop and have small drops periodically.
It depends how the bankruptcy pans out. They may have to liquidate all of that to.
Fair enough. Well,
yeah.
they have all of the knowledge that they can just start their own little thing.
I'm hoping that they are not well and truly done, but at the same time, they may just be like, fuck dice forever at this point. I don't know, right? We'll see. Maybe we'll, like I say, I will reach out and see if we can get them back, because I think that would be an interesting story to hear. We'll see.
Yeah.
Even if we just have them on remotely on a call and drop it as a separate video or something, I think it'd be neat to hear that story from their side. So,
oh yeah.
Looks like we're pretty much close to time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Hey, you know what that Xbox controller needs? A butt.
A butt?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah. Did you see that?
No.
So
this will be old news now, but
very
it's
old
still
news.
great.
Microsoft, there's a limited edition Deadpool for the
God.
Deadpool Wolverine movie. There's a limited edition Deadpool controller,
Oh,
but the back end of it is shaped like Deadpool's ass.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. You got to look up the controller.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I will bring it up, and I will try to remember to put an image up of it at the same time. I'm sure by the time this comes out, everyone will have seen it.
As
but
Deadpool said, it's his greatest feature.
that's
his ass.
so funny.
It's hilarious, dude. It's so good.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that is
it's-
juicy.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
So
Cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, we will see you next week. Hopefully, we will be live when we are recording it. So the idea is we'll drop something in Discord. I'll drop something a couple days ahead to let everybody know that it's happening. And then whenever we're filming, I can't give you a time because we don't know yet, but we will drop it in Discord. Make sure notifications are on if you care, that sort of thing.
It will be on a Friday.
It will be Friday.
Afternoon, evening time.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be like sort
6
of
to 7 Eastern.
something
Around
like that.
6 or 7 Eastern.
Something like that, yeah. We'll try to keep you up to date on Discord. Come out, hang out, ask questions. We won't interact with chat a lot during the first 20 minutes or so, but we'll hang out and do Q&A for a while. And I just hit a keyboard. It's a random keyboard. It's not connected to anything. Don't worry.
All the other stuff can be directed to our OnlyFans.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't started that yet.
Oh, fuck.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll look forward to seeing you live next week.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Losing toodles.